The force exerted on an object by a contracting muscle is known as the muscle tension. And the force exerted on the muscle by an object, usually its weight, is the load. Muscle tension and load are opposing forces. When a muscle develops tension but does not shorten or lengthen, the contraction is said to be isometric. It's a constant length. A contraction in which the muscle changes length while the load on the muscle remains constant is isotonic. It's a constant tension. Depending on the relative magnitude of muscle tension and the opposing load, isotonic contractions can be associated with either shortening or lengthening of the muscle. When tension exceeds the load, shortening occurs and it refers to as concentric contraction. On the other hand, if an unsupported load is greater than the tension generated by the cross bridges, the result is an eccentric contraction. And all these three types of the contractions, isometric, concentric, and eccentric, occur in the natural course of everyday activities. In concentric contraction, muscle tension must be greater than the opposing load. When we look at a muscle, the origin of a muscle is the end with fixed position attached to the bone that doesn't move, while the insertion is the attachment site that does move when the muscle contracts, and the movement that's happening is always toward the origin. Let's look at the eccentric contraction. In eccentric contraction, the load is greater than the tension. It pulls the muscle and this pulls the muscle to a longer length, and in spite of the opposing force produced by the cross bridges. Such a lengthening contraction occurs when an object being supported by muscle contraction is lowered, as when the knee extensors in your thigh are used to lower you to sit from a standing position. It must be emphasized that in these situations, the lengthening of the muscle fiber is not an active process. But consequence of the external forces actually being applied to the muscle to make it more length. In the absence of external lengthening forces, a fiber will only shorten. In isometric contraction, the load is equal to the tension. Such contractions occur when the muscles support a load in a constant position and we have no movement in at the point of insertion of the muscles.